Danny. Welcome to a whole nother awesome review. Today I'll be reviewing Scream 5. I just got back from the movie theater. This movie is directed by Matt Benelli-Olpin and Tyler Gillette, and it's written by James Vanderbilt and Guy Busick. So anyways, I wanted to make sure that I gave credit where credit is due because everybody that's doing a review of this film is calling it the people that made Ready or Not, which is totally disrespectful because a lot of work went into this film. And it's actually a very decent film. Now, I thought I would give my thoughts on the film and tell you guys what I thought of the movie. So anyways, we got some new characters in here, also with iconic characters like Dewey, Gale, and Sidney are back. So Sidney actually doesn't show up in this movie until like almost halfway through, which is interesting. And the film tries to concentrate on Dewey's characters for the most part, Dewey, and then Gale shows up. So it's actually a really good film. I actually really enjoyed this film. I thought that it was really well written, and I thought that they did a really good job of atmosphere in this film. The kills in this movie are very well shot, very well done, very gruesome, and I like how the film also parodies Scream itself, because I think it's kind of like making fun of the Scream TV series where they try to change things up for Scream and because remember they changed the mask in the Scream TV series? Well, they were making fun of that in this film, and they were saying, oh, Ghostface got a flamethrower and he's like flamethrowing people. So I thought that was a really well written. I love the beginning of the film, how Ghostface uses technology against people, because now we're kind of in a period in time where people are using everything's connected to their phone basically, so we can lock doors with our phone, and everything is connected basically. So Ghostface uses that technology to his advantage at the beginning of this film, which I thought was so cool. And I love how Ghostface clones his phone at the beginning of the film to pretend that he is, her friend, basically. And I just love that. Now, the person who becomes the new main character in this film is basically Billy Loomis's daughter, and she's grown up in this film. And basically, she's telling her sister that she is the daughter of Billy Loomis. So I guess that would make her sister her half-sister. So that's pretty interesting. And I like that, where they go with that. However, I do have my theories about where Scream 6 is going to go. And I think it's going to go in a completely new direction than how this film is going to go. Now, hopefully this film makes its money back, because when I went to see this movie at the movie theater, there was only two other people in the movie theater other than me. I went to the late show though, and this was the first showing, and it was on a Thursday, it wasn't on a Friday. Most people go to see a horror film on a Friday, so I don't think it's fair to say how much money this movie is going to make. But however, this movie was made on a pretty, it's not made on a very low budget. It was about $24 million. But when you take in consideration that a lot of horror films are made on $40 million or $45 million, I think that this film will hopefully be successful. And because I really like the Scream movies, so I hope they do make a Scream 6. And I did enjoy this film, and I love the direction that they went in. I love how it was written. Now, some of the characters do some stupid things in this film, like the sheriff when she's going home to save her son. She's just running right in there. She doesn't pull her gun out of her pocket, and is she just runs in there to save her son. And it doesn't seem like something a sheriff would do. Basically, they would scope the house to save their son. So I think that was a little bit. That's one of my complaints about this movie is I don't feel like her character would have done that. Basically, now, however, Dewey in this film is really good, and I really enjoyed that Dewey got a lot of screen time in this movie, and he has an amazing fight with Ghostface in this movie, which I thought was awesome. And I'm not going to tell you who dies in this movie, whether it's Gale, Dewey, or Sidney, but one of the iconic characters does die in this film. And it was awesome how they went out, basically. Now, I think that another iconic character will die in Scream 6. And I have my own theories on what direction they'll go in this film. Now, I love the reveal of the killers at the end of the film. I thought it was fantastic, and I thought they did an amazing job of writing this film and just the way it was shot. I love the cinematography in this film. I love the direction in this film, but it's not my favorite Scream film, of course. However, I still enjoy this movie more than Scream 3. I still think Scream 4 is better than this film. However, I think this film is still a little bit better than Scream 3, and that is amazing when you take it in consideration that Wes Craven did not make this movie. And I think even Wes Craven would have been pretty impressed with how this film ended. And they have a nice thing at the end of the film that says for Wes Craven. And they have this nice thing that shows everybody that was in the movie who played the characters, and I enjoyed that. So clearly the directors really respected Wes Craven and took it back to its roots, which I really appreciate. After trying to watch that horrible Scream TV series, I tried watching the first episode and I was done from season 1. Done. Terrible. And Wes Craven actually, helped make that. And I just think it was terrible. But I feel like this movie is a breath of fresh air. And I feel like it really did a really good job of, the atmosphere, the horror element, and I love how it also makes fun of itself a little bit. And I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a great film, and I'm gonna give it an 8 out of 10. You know what I'm saying? Also, I have one more thing I want to say. There's a scene in this movie where one of the girls is in the hospital, okay? She's in a hospital. Now, hear me out. This is my one complaint, okay? This is like a horror trope, all right? So, whenever there's a character in the hospital and they're protected by a sheriff, do you ever notice that nobody else is in the hospital? Like, where are the nurses? You know what I'm saying? Where are the doctors? And where are the people in the hospital? This always bugs me. Like, where do they go? Did, Ghostface just, murder everybody in the hospital? You know what I mean? Why is this why is there always, a cop or a sheriff, protecting a hospital? Now, anyway, my point is, there's always a cop or a sheriff protecting the hospital. There's always a victim in the hospital being protected, and there's nobody else in that hospital. Do you ever think that's weird that nobody else is in that hospital and that nobody else is there and they can go in their rooms and there's nobody else there? I always think that's weird in horror films. I notice they do that a lot in horror movies. They did it in this movie. I just think it's weird. I mean, I don't know. That's my one complaint. Okay, so I got a little complaint there. I have a little complaint about what happened to Sheriff. But overall, I thought the writing was really cool. I like that they go back to the iconic house from the original. And I did enjoy most of the kills in this film. I thought that they were really well done. And I love, with Gale and Sidney, fighting everybody, that was awesome, And there's a scene where Gale and Sidney are fighting Ghostface, and Ghostface goes on, fire, basically. That scene was awesome. Yeah. Now, I'm not going to tell you who the killers are, because there's more than one, but there is some awesome scenes in this movie, so you're really going to enjoy it because it is action-packed, basically. And I don't want to give away everything that happens, but it is awesome. So I'm going to highly recommend this. It's a very brutal movie, very well written. I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this movie and have an awesome night.